Today on Aging Untold.
There's a lot of kids that will say, oh, mom's getting older, so I have to move in and take care of her. Oh yeah, sure you do. Some of them are really caregiving, and that's legit, but some of them are just getting a free ride and free groceries.
Good kids, bad kids. Is there really such a thing? We're busting through the stereotype to get to the bottom of it. Plus, caregiver overload.
Get counseling, get therapy, get help. Because I'm telling you, bar none, this unresolved stuff complicates every caregiving situation.
Let's talk it out. We'll help you understand when it's time to talk to a therapist.
I am the happiest when I'm in a classroom.
And we'll share why one educator's love of teaching brought her back to the classroom. Experts with advice and solutions. You're watching Aging Untold with Aging Well Coach Catherine Ambrose, gerontologist Sam Craddock, aging expert Amy O'Rourke, and board-certified physician Dr. Ray Rogers. We're all getting older. It's about time we talked about it.
Welcome to Aging Untold. When it comes to taking care of our parents in their senior years, is there such a thing as good kids, bad kids? Are the children who take on all the caregiving responsibilities the good kids? And what about the ones who don't? Does that make them bad kids? It's more nuanced than you might think, and that's why today we're busting through the stereotype to find out. Sam, you're a resident bad kid. Why don't you lead us off?
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm just
I was
kidding.
the good kid. Just ask my sibling. Don't ask my siblings. I don't necessarily like that we're pigeonholing our children into good and bad. I think some of us have different skill sets, and some of us have different faculties where maybe some people are just able to emotionally handle the caregiving responsibilities and seeing that decline, and some aren't. Don't get me wrong, I've seen plenty of bad kids, but I've seen plenty of what we think are the good kids doing what we think is the right thing, but they're there for the wrong reason, and they're there to control and to isolate the others. So I don't think we on the outside can always see who's the good and who's the bad.
What is our definition of a good kid?
Right.
Bad kid? Because maybe it's the logistics, and it doesn't mean that just because they're not there, they're not good.
So maybe they don't have the luxury that I had, and I was able to travel and fly in 1 week a month. Most people can't do that. Most
Right.
people don't have a job that allows for that. And so are they the bad kid because they live thousands of miles away and they're not upending their entire life to go take care of their parent?
What I really meant when I kind of came up with good kids, bad kids was I wanted to say to good kids, we see you, we see what you're doing, and also kind of tip you off that when you're so respectful and so reserved and you don't want to step in and kind of cross the line or take away any autonomy, could you be waiting too long to address something? Because sometimes good kids miss things because they're trying to
They're trying to please and placate.
So you've got to be brave and get leverage, ask questions, be curious, and have the bold, candid conversations.
I think it's a balance, kind of for them. They have to balance all those different things.
I hear it a lot. I can't get my sister to help. I can't get my brother to help. I'm the one that's doing it all. I can't be with my family because I'm taking care of mom or dad or whatever. And I don't know why they're not stepping into that role. Maybe it's emotionally they can't. Maybe it's a resentment. Maybe it's a past issue. Maybe it's just their own self is stepping in the way, and they, you hear, well, I don't want to see my mom like that. I don't want to see my dad like that. But for the ones that are there that are working and doing, you're getting something that no one else can take away from you ever. And don't lose your sibling because of that.
Mm-hmm. You can see it on them when the person dies and someone's really been there and they are completely resolved and okay, and it's pure grief. And then the ones that were too afraid or didn't step in, you have a totally different kind of grief. And it's, honestly, I think it's more complicated to navigate.
The other thing I really wanted to talk about with good kids and bad kids is that there's some bad kids out there that we kind of aren't judging because we see the manipulation and the terrible things that they're doing. It is really awful. And I think, a lot of money.
Oh, a lot of
money, control. There's a lot of kids that will say, oh, mom's getting older, so I have to move in and take care of her. Oh, yeah, sure you do. Some of them are really caregiving, and that's legit, but some of them are just getting a free ride and free groceries.
And I'm not opposed to, if you're truly caregiving, getting that free ride and free groceries, because if you're given up to take care of your loved one, and you, how do you support your own home and in your own? So I see that, but I also see the POAs that are like, well, it's okay if I put a down payment on my truck. I saw it. It happened in our community. We had a grandson who took his grandmother's account and just used it for his own. And I was involved in that APS case. She no longer had the money to live on. She couldn't pay for her care.
What's POA for the audience?
Power of attorney.
And what's APS?
Adult Protective Services. Yeah, so thank you.
Get a little caught up in the lingo.
Yeah, we get caught up in our own lingo. So, not always are our intentions bad. And I don't think, in that case for sure, I know that grandson did not plan to break his grandmother. He didn't.
Well, and you also have the factor of the older person wanting to help. And then it just gets so blurry, they don't know when to stop, and then they can't stop, and then they can't have the conversation with them because they don't want to lose them, because who's going to take care of me if it's not them?
I can tell you time and time again, kids or grandkids moving in and even having a relationship, getting married, having children, like never move. And like all grandma wants is for once in her life to have her house to herself, and they never leave.
I think the key is to start early, talk to the people in your world, set things up ahead of time, and keep checking it. And I'm talking to the older person. Mm-hmm. The older person, it's your funds. Be careful with who you designate to be involved. But designate someone.
I've seen it also too many times where we give the keys to the kingdom to the least responsible, because as a parent, we still want to take care of them. So all of a sudden, you've got this really responsible child over here who's made their way, they're financially stable, but you're going to give it to the kid over here that's lost 2 homes, that hasn't kept a job. And so you're giving them the power of attorney rights, and you're giving them the control because you as a parent want to take care of your child. And
you're hoping they're going to do the right thing.
You're hoping they're going to do the right thing by you. And those patterns and those behaviors aren't going to change.
But then we get back to, if that's what they want to do, why shouldn't they?
Totally.
I'll tell you why they shouldn't, is because they can put themselves in a very vulnerable position when they're fragile. So while you're healthy, while you still have your wits about you, you've got to think about this plan. And no plan is a plan. It's a really bad plan. So you've got to really think this through. And what kind of professionals could also be part of your team? Because if you have a care manager, a physician, the person that runs the home care agency, the gerontologist, your financial planner, your attorney that really know you, people that can step in and try to help when things aren't going well.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well said.
Get the right team.
Put your team together.
Yes.
And we want to be a part of your team too, and we'll be right back on Aging Untold.
Coming up next, feeling overwhelmed, tired, stressed all the time? You may need to talk it out with a professional.
It's like a boiling pot, and it's just going to keep simmering and simmering and simmering until it boils over the top.
Then later,
A lot of patients assume that if they have 20/20 vision, they're perfectly healthy and they have no other health conditions. But really the importance of getting checked, because there's so many other diseases that we can diagnose.
how a routine eye exam can spot clues about your health.
For caregivers and the loved ones they care for, there can often be a sense of feeling overwhelmed, constant fatigue, and daily stressors as they both navigate a new life stage. So how do we balance navigating caregiving without neglecting our mental health? Let's talk about it. Amy, when should we consider talking with the therapist or seeking some sort of professional help?
You know who I'm thinking of? The son that went to see his parents. He calls me up. He's in a rage, absolute rage. He's in a rage because his father won't bring his mother a cup of coffee.
Oh,
Okay. So I said, well, tell me more about that. He has never brought her a cup of coffee, and goes on to describe his frustration. I said, so let me be clear. He never has done that before, and you want him to do it now. So my point is, this emotional, unresolved issue of his mom waiting on his dad is going to strangle him in his ability to take care of his parents.
The thing that I hear a lot on my social media is, why should I take care of them? They didn't take care of me. They left us to go feral. And I try to remind this generation, which is our generation, that our parents, our moms were oftentimes the first moms to really go out into the workforce. And so they were trying to keep up with the silent generation moms, the ones that were at home cooking the meals, making sure dad's lunches were packed. And they took care of the kids, and they were there with their kids, but then they had to go to work. Now our parents went to work, our moms did, and something had to give. There's not that many hours in a day, as you guys and I know too well. So our generation we got left a little feral. But I think we grew up stronger because of it. And there's a lot of resentment that goes on from those kids, and unresolved anger and frustrations.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons, which I keep reiterating over and over and over. Get counseling, get therapy, get help. Because I'm telling you, bar none, this unresolved stuff complicates every caregiving situation.
And I know I made many mistakes as a parent. I didn't realize what I was doing wrong.
Only because there was no roadmap.
There was no roadmap. I was doing the best I could. And
figure it out as we go.
Fortunately, a lot of harbored resentment is against people that don't even know they've offended you. And so just having a conversation and saying, Mom, you didn't do this for me, or Dad, you didn't do this for Mom, or whatever the case may be. Well, I didn't know it was bothering you. I didn't know I did that. And right there, that on its own can be therapy, just the acknowledgement.
Well, the main thing is do what you can so you don't let friction divide you and make things worse. It can be challenging enough as it is without making it worse by dwelling on things from the past or letting daily frustrations get to you.
Almost like a cancer. They talk about things, something can be a cancer because it's just growing, and it's silent, and it's growing, and it's growing, and it can be so detrimental.
And to unpack it.
And if you're really, let's say, like a full-time caregiver, if your loved one were in a senior living community, you might be doing the work of 8 to 24 different people. So you got to remember, give yourself grace that you're doing the work of many, many people. And even if you're just running errands or giving pep talks all day, that is caregiving. And it's really important that you take care of your own exercise. Exercise can immediately change your mood. Like, I don't want to go exercise, but you force yourself to go do it and you come out feeling better.
You feel so good.
But not everybody has time. Not everyone has time.
So the question becomes, what can you do with the limited time that you have? That's the question to ask. It might just be taking a little walk. It might be calling for a 3-minute talk with a friend.
Deep breathing exercises, just
deep breathing.
Hold up and then letting out.
What does that do for your nervous system when you do that?
It helps relax the whole nervous system. It kicks into this system that's called parasympathetics, which is rest and digest.
Okay, very good. I was just picturing, no. Rather you're stressing me out.
All right.
All right, we'll be back with more on Aging Untold.
After the break, an eye-opening discovery after a routine eye exam uncovers a life-changing diagnosis for this patient.
If it wasn't for her, I would not know I have MS.
Then,
I just enjoy so much doing what I do. I haven't ever done anything else.
a teacher who tried to retire but couldn't.
Experts say your eyes can reveal a lot about your overall health. Through an eye exam, doctors say they can identify the early warning signs of chronic diseases, including cancer, diabetes, and stroke. Reporter Adam Murphy explains how an optometrist in Atlanta detected a patient's life-altering condition.
Does one eye feel like it's more red, or is the color different between the two eyes?
Yes.
Andrea Medford knows the importance of getting a routine eye exam as well as anybody.
I'm just going to go in and patch one eye.
She woke up with blurry vision in one eye and contacted Briggs Vision Group in Dunwoody to schedule a checkup. That decision may have saved her vision.
She then came back in the room, handed me a piece of paper, and said, I need you to go to the emergency room.
As you can see where she was missing a lot of her whole vision here, and then it was depressed everywhere else.
Dr. Rebecca Briggs Garnier conducted a series of vision tests, including the red cap exam, before offering a diagnosis of optic neuritis, which occurs when swelling damages the optic nerve.
Her good eye saw the red perfectly, and the bad eye was very muted, looked more like a burgundy grayish color. So we knew at that point it was optic neuritis.
That's when Medford was told to go to the emergency room. And what happened next, no one could see coming.
I get to my hospital room. An emergency department doctor came into my room once I was in there and said that, we need to talk about paperwork and your MS diagnosis.
Medford was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and spent a week in the hospital before her vision returned. Briggs Vision Group stressed the importance of an eye exam, which can identify more than 200 diseases.
So I think a lot of patients assume that if they have 20/20 vision, they're perfectly healthy and they have no other health conditions. But really the importance of getting checked, because there's so many other diseases that we can diagnose.
If it wasn't for her, I would not know I have MS.
Wow, I haven't heard that before.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. At the level of the cell, the body tells you what's going on. We miss it because we're just not taught that. But I don't think a lot of people realize MS is an autoimmune disorder.
It is.
It is an autoimmune, and so when you talk about optic neuritis, anything with itis is inflammation, and that's what's driving all diseases. It's just that where do you manifest it? She manifested hers in her eyes.
But think about this: if you can see, you don't go to the eye doctor.
But she woke up with blurred vision, so
Yeah,
that's
right.
what made her go.
Right. But I'm thinking, why don't we all just go every year, regardless of your eyesight?
Because there's indicators for even other diseases that they could find.
Because you have the arteries that, when they're looking at that machine going like that and looking at your eyes, they're looking at the arteries and all that. So arterial health is everywhere throughout your body. So when that's inflamed, that's blood flow. That's, they can pick up high blood pressure in the eyes and all that because the narrowing of the vessels and all that is just, it's kind of like they say the eyes are the window to the soul.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's worth protecting. I know I go every 6 months instead of every year because we're watching for glaucoma.
Did you guys look at her? She looks like the picture of health.
She does.
Autoimmune diseases do not.
That's right.
They don't discriminate. I was on a softball field and played 8 games one weekend and couldn't walk 3 days later. So they don't discriminate.
Oh, no.
They attack anybody at any time.
And if you have one, you're going to get others. You have to find out
Thanks for
where.
letting me know that.
Yeah. but it can be treatable. It can be, you want to
Yes.
treat and find out the root cause of why you got what you got.
Exactly.
And then, start getting the right treatment. There's a lot of people that just want to tough everything out. Oh, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. And you're missing out on important opportunities to find out something that you need to know about your own body.
Coming up, after more than 5 decades in the classroom, this educator is still inspiring students.
If you establish a relationship with each child at the very beginning of the year, then they will receive instruction well. And that's my job, is to deliver instruction.
We want to introduce you to educator Barbara Longeway. A teacher for more than 5 decades found her first attempt at retirement didn't quite stick. So she headed back into the classroom to keep doing the things she loves.
Kindergarten. The origin of the word means garden of children. And for Barbara Longeway, after spending most of her life in the classroom, she knows exactly what these little minds need to grow.
I love helping them establish the foundation for their lifelong learning. I just enjoy so much doing what I do that I can't imagine. I haven't ever done anything else.
Mrs. Longeway's teaching career began in Kentucky in 1969. Now at age 76, the Baton Rouge Center for Visual and Performing Arts is where she continues to be a vital part of children's lives.
If you establish a relationship with each child at the very beginning of the year, then they will receive instruction well. And that's my job, is to deliver instruction.
But for this veteran teacher, classroom life is more than just a job. It's her passion, her calling. Back in 2012, she tried to retire, but just a few months later,
retirement just didn't suit me.
What brought you back?
I am the happiest when I'm in a classroom. Students make a connection with you. They want to make a connection with you. As teachers, we should be making connections with all of our students.
A special kind of relationship that inspires a student to believe that anything is possible.
Thank goodness she loves to be in the classroom because she is making a difference. You can tell that for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She loves what she's doing.
I think it's just amazing how you can have a purpose and a passion, and she realizes that she can still deliver that same passion in a different way.
Her face had a glow. It was like looking at someone that's pregnant, like they have a look. She had a look of sheer happiness.
Right.
I love the glasses, by the way. They were very, very cool.
Of course you did.
She had them rocking, didn't she?
Of course you did. Yeah.
And those kids are so lucky because they've got a teacher that wants to be there and wants to. When she said establish a relationship with each child, what a bonus for them.
Because that's all kids need is just that. And I don't know about you guys, but did you have a teacher that changed your trajectory, your life?
Oh, yeah.
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 And so we all remember those teachers that we had of our youth. And she's that.
She's absolutely right. I mean, that makes a child open up. They will receive instruction.
Yeah. Yeah, they're longing for that connection, and she's the right person to give it.
Well, the nice thing is that she was able to step back into teaching, which is what she loves, because for some people, there's so much ageism, and if you leave, you're not getting back in, so you're going to have to do something different.
They're pushing you out.
Oh, for sure. Starting in your 50s, I got a kick out of what you didn't get to see, and that was our reaction when they put up the photo of her when she was young. We all looked at each other and went, yeah. We just loved it.
Absolutely.
A life well lived, and on she goes.
Absolutely.
We don't talk enough about aging, and that's why we're here to embrace it and talk about it together. Until next time, we'll see you on Aging Untold.
Next time on Aging Untold, navigating loss and coming out stronger on the other side.
Recognizing where are you in this grief process?
All those tips that we just shared all work.
You can watch Aging Untold anytime online. Go to aginguntold.com or subscribe to the Aging Untold YouTube channel for more.